know we will be watching. Guys, the Guardians just dropped their second consecutive series after winning or tying in their first, 4, 5? I can't remember what it was. They've lost 4 of 6 after losing 2 of 3 to the Braves. They lose 2 of 3 to the Cardinals. Cardinals, I don't want to say they're a bad team because they're playing decent baseball. They're, I think, a game or 2 over 500, maybe even 3 over.
They're not going to last.
But, yes, they're not going to last. They're going to be a bad team as time goes by. But they did a good job against the Guardians with some clutch hitting against the Guardians' pen the last 2 days. And the Guardians certainly let that second game of that series get away. And then yesterday a tie game for a while, and they end up losing the series. They'll, obviously they have a 7-game homestand in 7 straight days. But disappointing end to that series the last 2 days, Jason, against the Cardinals.
You concerned at all about the bullpen yet?
A little bit.
Me too.
I am a little, not like panic.
Right.
But there's a little concern there. They have not been sharp. Cade Smith hasn't been sharp.
Yeah.
Tim Herron, who's been one of the most reliable guys, hasn't been sharp. Zabrowski gave it up the other day, but he's been great.
Yes.
Besides
First
that.
time he hasn't been great.
Yeah. So I'm not really worried about him. But the rest of the guys in that pen, Sean Armstrong's past his prime. Matt Fest is just a guy.
Yep.
Brogdon's just a guy.
Gaddis is just coming back.
Yeah, Gaddis is just coming back. He didn't look great, and he didn't look great in the minors. So, I think there was a little bit of concern with that bullpen. Not panic.
Right.
But there's there's more questions in that pen than we've seen in a while.
I think they'll figure it out.
I agree.
It may not be the names that we thought.
That's true, too.
But they always sort of figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think their ERA's over 5 with relievers. And listen, it's April 16th. I get it. We have to preface everything with it's early. But at the same time, outs are outs, and they're not getting outs. And I don't even put the Cade Smith the other night. Yeah, Brito's got to make the play. I'm sure you guys talked about it yesterday.
Yeah. Now, he still gave up the double to a not good hitter.
He did.
But he should have been out of the inning.
If Brito makes the play,
the inning's over. That's the end of the game.
Yeah. But I'd said that before the season, we just assume Cade Smith is just going to roll. He's never done it before.
Yeah.
He did it for
a couple months last year.
But never going in with the expectation of being the guy with the pressure of that.
Again, I think he's going to be fine, and I like Zabrowski, obviously, but I think the rest of the pen, there's a lot of question marks, especially as you get deeper into it, more than we've had, and that's all the effects of Class A. And we were talking about before the show, Saccone's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
But Bivey's been hit around.
He's been lousy, yeah.
So you're looking, and I don't want to ring the alarm bells, but that's 2/5 of your starting rotation, and the bullpen's got an ERA over 5.
Right.
So, and they have played some really good teams to this point. Yep. So things will start to loosen up a little bit here, and hopefully as the weather warms, they can straighten some of this stuff out.
Yeah, I believe. Can you put up the AL Central standings again, guys?
They're in second place right now.
No, I'm just trying to. What's the Royals' record? Okay, I think the Royals are the only team they've played that is under 500 right now. Right?
Seattle.
Oh no, Seattle's off to. We expect them to be good, but they've been terrible. That's
LA,
it. The Cubs are
Chicago.
500. The Dodgers are obviously well over 500. The
Braves.
Cardinals are over 500. The Braves are over 500.
Yeah.
So
they had a tough start schedule-wise. They played some really good competition, and they need all their guys to kind of chip in if the pitching isn't going to be what we thought it could be, especially with Tanner Bybee getting rocked in multiple starts this year. Saccone was just average. The bullpen's been just average so far. It was good to see Manzardo get 2 hits yesterday.
He's coming out of it.
He's starting to. His batting average is now in the same range as his body weight, and I forget if it was you or Jay who said that, but he obviously weighs more than 180, but at least it's a conversation in the same gap as opposed to weighing 43 pounds when he was saying 043.
I wasn't. I haven't been on with Jay in a while, but I'm sure he was in full panic mode, ready to send him to the minors. Jay is, for a guy who knows baseball, is the most prisoner of the moment. Guy stinks for 2 weeks. He's like, I'm done with him.
He was more worried about Bo Naylor because he was high on Bo Naylor coming into the season.
Bo Naylor's never been good, really.
Well, but Jay was convinced because he changed his swing mechanics that he was ready for some breakout season.
Well, he did have a 2-run double yesterday.
He did. His first 2 RBIs yesterday.
I thought it was gone off the bat. He must have gotten a little off the end of the bat, I guess.
And it was off a lefty.
Yeah, that was a good swing.
So Zach actually wrote about it this morning. Some of the surface level numbers, the underneath stuff, there is optimism for Bo, but it's what we said about Nolan Jones for 3 months last year, and eventually eventually you have to produce.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But there is reason for hope with Naylor that maybe there's good things ahead despite how bad his numbers are.
Yeah, and overall, I mean, listen, the starting pitching has been very good. I know Bybee got crushed his last start,
Yeah.
not Messick, but Ciccone's been a little up and down. But overall, the starting pitching has been great because for the most part, Gavin Williams, Joey Cantillo, and Parker Messick have been sensational.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're starting. I don't know what their starting pitching ERA is right now, but it's got to be better than most teams in baseball.
Oh, when you got a guy like that on the mound who has an ERA sub-1,
Yeah,
it certainly helps bring the average down.
yeah. That obviously that's not going to last, but
Says who?
says me. What are you?
You're probably
Tyvus is going to hit 400. He's going to ERA under 1.
No, what's more likely though? A whip under 1 or I guess the whip under 1.
He won't have a whip under 1. If he has a whip under 1 at the end of the year, I'll be stunned beyond belief.
That's MVP, right?
Cy Young.
That's like MVP, but Cy Young and MVP.
Potentially. No, he's not winning an MVP. No pitcher should ever win an MVP. It happens every once in a blue moon. It should never happen.
But if you have a sub-1 whip and you start 30-something
Well, there's
games.
plenty of guys that have, I mean, not plenty, but there's guys
Starting
every year
pitchers?
that have sub-1 whip. Yeah, every year.
Oh, okay. I
There's
thought
a
it was-
guy
I thought
or
it was
two.
more rare.
It's not, no offense to Parker Messick, I like him. He's not having a whip under 1. He's not that good. He's good.
That's a Scooble Skeens level.
Yeah. And even that is like, you know,
Pedro,
Pedro
Elite,
Martinez.
elite prime Pedro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Greg Maddux, maybe.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about all-time great.
That's a good
pitchers.
question. Like Clemens. Did Clemens ever have a year of a sub-1 whip? In
Uh,
Boston, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't think of how much bigger. Like Nolan Ryan, as great as he was, would walk a lot of
look
guys.
it up.
So.
What's that?
I said Nolan Ryan, as great as he was, he would walk a lot of guys. So you got to be someone that.
Yeah.
He'd
throw 140 pitches. He'd have an ERA of like 4.3.
Yeah.
And
which is crazy. And he had seven no hitters.
He was 18 and 15 in a season.
I know.
Just ridiculous numbers.
He did put up ridiculous numbers. But anyway, you come back home, no off day before the homestand, so 7 straight games in 7 days. Then they'll get an off day after that.
What's the weather this weekend? Do we know? I haven't looked.
Today it's supposed to rain, I think.
It's supposed to rain later today.
It's warm, rain tonight. Tomorrow's supposed to be in the 60s and sunny, so perfect weather.
Okay.
I think it gets cold on Sunday, back into the 40s. I think Saturday there's a chance of rain, so overall not bad weather for this weekend.
We got high school games the next 3 days, so I probably should know the forecast.
Yeah, get with it, man.
Yeah.
Where you been on that? So I don't know. It's going to be. If I haven't seen the latest forecast this morning, but it should be some good days at least. Tomorrow seems like a perfect day to go to the ballpark.
Yeah.
I know Saturday there's the Cavs at 1, Guardians at 6:10 again. You get the full day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That
the full day of Cleveland sports.
We
at
had a
home.
chance when my son and I went to the doubleheader. We had a chance to go to the Cavs game after. We didn't go. I was so tired. And we left the second doubleheader game.
Yeah.
But we could have done doubleheader followed by
Wow.
Cavs. It was regular season, and it
Full
really
day.
didn't matter much at that point.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we had that opportunity. All right, any other thoughts on the Guardians before we wrap up the Guardians conversation?
I'm just happy Manzardo's starting to hit. I know Chase has been in a little bit of a slump the last couple of games.
Yeah.
No one should be worried about it. It's early. He's going to have ups. He's going to have downs. There's going to be peaks and valleys in a season like that. And if the Guardians are going to continue to not produce offensively at the level that I think you need to overcome some bad pitching, then they're going to hover around 500 for a little bit until guys like Jose and Manzardo and Kwan find their rhythm, find their groove, and start producing more. And shout out to Schneemann, who we make these stats every day. And Daniel Schneemann's a guy who every time we put a new number in, it's going up as opposed to most of the lineup that has been on the decline lately.
Yeah, Chase DeLauder is in a slump, and that's just the nature of baseball. You know, guys get hot and cold. You have a great week one week, you have a terrible week next week. That's why it's so important to have a deep lineup.
Yeah.
And why teams that only have 3 or 4 guys that are, anywhere close to consistent hitters struggle, because even it's not like basketball or football where a great player is going to play great almost every game. In football, the great player is going to play great, 90% of the time?
Yeah.
In basketball, the great player is going to play great 90% of the time. Maybe I'm off by a little, maybe 75, whatever. But in baseball,
But it's still not 30%, which is
whatever. And even if it's more than that, even if it's 50%, which it's not in baseball, that's still well below the other team. So that's the importance of having that deep lineup, is that your second team. The Guardians' biggest problem offensively in recent years is they really don't have they've never had a good second tier in recent years. They have a few guys at the top, and then most of the rest of the lineup is like
Falls
tier
off a
4
cliff.
and 5.
Yeah.
I think Rhys Hoskins is like that tier type, 2-3 type of player. We'll see what he ends up being this year, and he's had a decent start.
Decent start, yeah.
But they just don't have enough of those guys. They haven't. Now, George Valera becomes something like that or better. I don't know. We'll see. He's played, I think, 2 games now. Got his first hit yesterday. I think he had a double in the game yesterday, if I remember correctly. But you need to have that, and you can't if you got 5 guys batting $150 with a 400, 500 OPS.
It's going to be tough to stack those big innings.
It's hard to be consistent offensively.
I remember what I was going to say. I was thinking about this driving in.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how many guys have been thrown out at the plate by 30 feet?
Yeah, Manzardo was out by forever.
Wasn't even close. And wasn't it him earlier this year that was thrown out by 30 feet? I feel like it was him again. They've had a couple guys thrown out at the plate that it's like,
I know.
Well, that wasn't even close. Like what?
In the first game of the Cubs Guardians doubleheader, where the Cubs won 1-0, there were 3 hits the whole game.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I can't remember now, but somebody of the Guardians got thrown out at the plate, and it was not close either. We've seen that quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm all for being aggressive.
Yeah. But you got to be smart about it.
It's got to be close.
Yeah.
Especially in an offense that we just talked about. Isn't going to give you that many opportunities.
Well, that's part of the
night.
reason why you have to be aggressive.
And I can't remember
you think that should be more aggressive?
Well, no, I'm saying that's why I'm okay being aggressive because you're not going to get a ton of opportunities. But
you can't be stupid.
Yeah,
though.
that's what I'm saying.
And you're going to be more aggressive with 2 outs. I'm trying to remember when Manzardo got thrown out at the plate. Was it 2 outs at the time?
I don't remember.
I don't think it was, but I can't remember now.
I don't remember.
But again, I could even live with maybe that if it's 2 outs because you just got a 2-out hit potentially. Can you get another? But and you got another runner too. Manzardo is
not a burner.
Not at all.
No, it's not. I think you give Jose the benefit of the doubt if he thinks he can make it. Jose's
but it's the coach. It's the player doesn't really.
The play's
know.
behind him.
But I'm just saying when you look at the guys in the Guardians lineup.
Yeah.
If they're rounding third. And Jose, whether the third base coach is saying stop, or go, I'm trusting Jose's instincts. Manzardo's listening to the third base coach, and the third base coach has to know who's coming around third, and does that guy have the requisite speed to make it home?
In most cases, Jose's not making a decision based on his instincts. He doesn't know what's
coming around third. You're always because the play's always behind you.
Yeah, unless it's right down the line.
Go back and watch the famous when Joel Skinner held Kenny Lofton coming around. Were you here for that?
No, that was before.
That was before you.
Yeah.
Well, I know Kenny's been here like 4 times.
I know the play.
It was the playoff game against Boston, I think, and Lofton was full speed ahead coming around third, and I know Joel a little bit. Joel put up the stop sign and held him, and Kenny slammed on the brakes and looked to saw where the ball was and wanted to strangle Joel for not sending it. It was like, oh!
Yeah.
He probably could have scored.
Yeah, so
it's a hard job, man. Third base coach.
It's hard. You have to because you have to see where the ball is. You have to know the arm of the thrower. You have to know the speed of the runner. You got to see where the runner is, and you got to make a split-second decision. So it's really tough.
Yeah.
But the whole Manzardo thing, he's. You can't be out by that much.
No.
That's a bad send if you're out by that much.
And that's not the first.
Who is the third base coach?
Odor. Rugi Odor. So.
Is he the Joey Batista?
What? No, that's Rougned Odor.
Oh, okay. I thought so. I was like,
no.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did he sneak into the third base coaching position? We didn't talk about that.
That would
bad
not
job
be
out
the
of
case.
us.
Maybe Tim Anderson will be the first base coach. All right.
That would be hysterical.
It would be funny, right? All right, Ryan Wilson. Before we go, there you go. Guardians, Orioles tomorrow. WKYC. Hopefully the Guardians will be nice enough to give us a guest for tomorrow's show. That would be nice. And then WKYC coverage at 6:10. Guardians, Orioles. That's tomorrow evening. When we come back, Ryan Wilson. Mikey mentioned him. Ryan Wilson, NFL draft analyst. Talk about his latest mock draft and what he sees the Browns doing and what he thinks they should do with the 6th pick and later.